first thing I wish I knew a little bit better when I first joined was the navigation. This is a big game with a lot of cool stuff in it, but it can be a little daunting when you go to the menu and try to figure out what's really going on. So I'll try to take you through some of the big parts, go through it kind of quickly, but still kind of explain it as if this might be the first time you've done a farm simulator game. So as soon as you kind of selected your farm or got into your first game, just push the escape button. It'll take you over to the main menu here that shows all the different areas, different plots of land that you can purchase, or if you did start out with an opening farm, you'll see kind of the green right around the plot numbers. That lets you know those are the plots that you actually have, and you can do whatever you want with them. Some are probably already ready to harvest. You can start plowing, you can do some work, you can start messing with your cows that are over here. Do whatever you'd like to do right off the bat. If you did choose to not have a starting farm and just have your money, which I would recommend a starting farm at first just so you can understand a little better. But if you don't, you can just select any of these plots and purchase them. I'll go to the kind of the top up here at 24. You'll notice that's extremely expensive. So unless you have a big balance, I wouldn't recommend buying any of the very large ones because you do have to, if you don't have a starting farm, you have to buy the equipment to actually work the plot of land. So again, I would recommend having a starting farm so there's at least some vehicles and harvesters and what you need to start working your land. But this is how you can always buy or visit different areas that you might want to purchase in the future. Obviously, it's color coordinated here with the crop types on the left. So if you look at your farm, you'll be able to tell which crops, and you can kind of take everything off. You can see that's number 3 is wheat if I turn it on and off, and barley over here, number 2. That way you know what kind of equipment you need to work to harvest or set up each of these plots. Now you go to the next state of it, it lets you know the kind of the growth or the status of it. Number 2, it's already been harvested, there's nothing there. I mean, I'd have to start with cultivating it and planting seeds and fertilizing the whole 9 yards. The ones you really want, which is great for kind of this opening, there's 2, number 3 and 5 both have ready to harvest, which means I could harvest that crop right now, sell it if I wanted to make some quick money, but or kind of store it until there's a better time to sell, which I'll show you in the pricing later on. Sometimes you want to just hold on to your harvest until it's the best time to sell. Now the next is kind of the composition. I have it all turned off here. You turn it all on, but what I like to do is select one at a time and say, oh, do I need to get rid of some weeds? Has this been fertilized? No, nothing's been fertilized on this farm. My plots need lime? Yes, they do. So real easy to see the composition. Hotspots, that's kind of the legend of the map. So it'll let you know different vehicles where they're at, different loading stations, some of the production facilities that we'll kind of go over later. And then you have your farmland. Again, like I was stating, if you have a starting farm, anything in green here is going to be what you own. You can do anything you want. You can do landscaping. You can place down some more sheds, whatever you'd like to do. But you can't do any of that outside of the green area. It's going to say you don't own this land, so don't even try to work it. The next 2 are create jobs and active workers. We'll talk about that later. Now, next, crop calendar. This is really important, especially if you're going to kind of leave it in this state of knowing when to plant. Obviously, when it's green, you'll see in the top right, legend saying planting season and harvest season, when you can pull up the crop and sell it or store it. Now, this is fun, and you can do it this way, but you can turn this off. That way you can begin working all of your fields immediately, planting and harvesting throughout the year whenever you like. But you need to go down to settings, game settings. You'll see here seasons, and then seasonal growth. You turn seasonal growth to no, and then you go back to the calendar, and now you can plant and harvest anytime you'd like. I kind of play this way just because I buy and sell up a lot of different land, and it's fun to be able to do what you want whenever you want to do it. Next will be if you have any kind of animals, pigs, cows, sheep, chickens, whatever will be here. The starting farm here, and I have 3 50-month-old cows, it seems. Contracts, we'll go through that later on. Different production change we'll go through. prices, as I was mentioning, say we had that barley field that we could harvest. Right now in August, this little dotted line here, it's at its all-time low of 767 for each like 1,000 of the crop. But what you can do is you can harvest it, place it in your silos, and then later on, when it gets to January, a few months down the road, where it's at its all-time high, you can store it and wait till January, and then take it over to wherever it's the highest on any of these little stations, and sell it. And that's kind of farming in general. You harvest your crop and then you hold on to it and don't sell it until it's the highest. Now the next tab here is vehicles. This will, as you go through on the bottom left, you'll see the actual pictures of them. This is all the equipment that comes with a starting farm. Again, if you don't have a starting farm, you have nothing. You don't have anything to work. So be careful with what you do there. But the cool thing is here, you can, if there's some things like the trailer, this is just a little hint. If you want to sell, you could sell this trailer for the header if you didn't want it. Or if you don't like this tractor, you could sell it and get some money out of it. But be careful because this might be something that's used and a good price. But that's something you can do. Hand tools, if you happen to buy a chainsaw. And then finances. This is fairly important if you do run out of money, because it happens very easily in this game. At the bottom here, you'll see you push space to borrow, and you can just, this is kind of your loan, and you can borrow like 100,000. You can borrow quite a bit of money here, and then you can repay it off as you make more money to repay your loan. A key tip here, for each month is not really a crazy interest. So if you need to borrow money, borrow it. It's not the end of the world, and it does help out, especially if you have this piece of equipment or something you need, or some seeds or fertilizer you need to buy, and you just happen to be out and you know you're going to make money the next month. Go ahead and borrow some money and then pay it back off. Statistics, not really that important if you want to go to it. The next menu is kind of the purchasing menu, and you push P for purchasing, makes it nice and easy, and it'll bring you up to this menu, which is a little bit different. I'm going to show you the difference. Obviously, oops, I'm saving, but you push escape and it goes to the main menu you went through. You push P. It looks similar, but it is a little bit different. At the very top, it has brands. You're never going to be going to the brand. I mean, maybe if you know a lot about all the different tractor companies, sounds good, but I never went there. Now, this is where you'll be spending a lot of time purchasing equipment. So you'll be coming here, looking through all the different kind of tractors or harvesters that really work with what crops you have and what plots of land you have and what you plan on doing. Now there's a lot, so this is the part that gets a little bit daunting. So the very next area really helped me out a lot. So I knew I had wheat, but I wasn't sure, all that I needed for wheat. It's a grain, so I select this, and it lets me know, okay, you have a harvester here that's going to be collecting wheat. You have this header that you need to be able to work with that harvester. You need a trailer to be able to haul off these seeds. That's going to go with this tractor. You have a cultivator that you'll pull behind that tractor. You have a way to plant the seeds that's also going behind that tractor, and this is where you buy your seeds. So it makes it very easy to. This is not the only option, but it does help you get started knowing, okay, if I have grains that I know I need a harvester, and I know I have a header like this, that is the way to pull up the crop. So that helps you. Same with like if you go to sugarcane, it's a specific thing. Obviously, you can see it's a lot different here. This is going to be the way to harvest it. This multi-row harvester, it's a lot different than the harvester in the last one, but you wouldn't know that if you're not a farmer or if you're new to this game. So very, very good menu here to go into the packs to at least give you an idea of what you need to be able to harvest or work with whatever plot of land you have. Now the next one is the percentage. It's kind of a discount used vehicle area, which is great, and I think it changes about every month of your game. You can go in here and see if you're low on funds, but maybe there's a good deal on a tractor. It's half off. You don't have a lot of money. This is 44,000, pretty good tractor, 130 horsepower ish, around there, and you can use it around the farm at a discounted rate. Now, what you can do whenever you decide to go purchase, say I need the front loader because I'm moving some some items around the farm, and I need to pick it up and move it around. But I don't really have 57,000, and I'm only going to be using it for that month. Instead of buying it, you can lease, which is this space bar right here. And you'll see it's a total of about, because there's base cost and per day hour, it's only about $3,000 for me to use it for that month, and then you can just return it. So that would save you, 50 something thousand dollars just to rent it for that month. So renting is something, especially if you don't have a big balance, highly recommend you use. And the very last menu here, very, very important. Not so much the animal dealer, you can mess with everything here, but construction is really what I wanted to show you, because that is very, very important. And you have sheds here at the top, or shed silos. There's a lot of things you can buy, but at this menu you can select anything. It's going to have a cost, obviously. You can place it on your farm that you own. If I don't own over here, it'll say land is not owned by you, but you can place it anywhere on your own farm. You can have silos, which is where you would store everything, extensions, constructibles. Now constructibles are kind of neat. You put it down here and you actually have to go and get lots of different wood to be able to build this, but you can kind of go through and add what you would like only on your farmland. Now you have, in fact, I would go through all this. There's just so much for you to do, and we'll cover a little bit of ways to make money here in a second. But something I do want to show you here is under cultivation on the second one. If this is new to 2025, the rice fields that you have to flood and everything, the only way to build them is by doing this cultivation here of rice field. And so you select it, and you would have to kind of zoom in wherever on your farmland, and you have to draw out a square or whatever size or shape you want for your rice field. And once you draw out your little square, and then you right click, it'll create. Now we have a rice field down here. And a tip, wherever the very first line you draw is where the floodgates will be for your rice field. But that's how you do create a rice field if you need. And there's, let me kind of show you real quick. There's also another tip that I'll use, let you know while we're here, for free water. So you push R to interact with things in this game, and flood over here. You push flood for this, and it's going to fill up this area, and that's how you plant rice, the new crop in this season. Now what you can do if you want water, because you might need to feed or put water for your cows and everything, you can use your flooded, you can drag in your equipment that stores water into your rice field and collect water and use it that way. It's completely free water. Instead of having to go to purchase water or go to a river and pull it out, you can just grab it from your rice field. Okay, so now you know how to do rice. Obviously you can do grapes and olives as well. They're kind of new crops, the same way as what I just kind of showed here. This is where you're going to buy any kind of shelter where you'll be storing your cows or your horses or your pigs, and you kind of just place it here, and it'll let you know how many pigs. If you look at the bottom there, it says a place to keep your pigs. There's 50 of them in here, 109 in that one, 275, and what kind of food they need that they'll eat off of that you can put for each of these different animals. Chicken's really by far one of the easier ones because it just needs some grains. So I know I already have a couple of fields here that have grain, so I know very easy for me to harvest, and I can use some of my harvest to feed the chickens, and there you go. That's the way it works. Beehives, they're not the best in the world right now. And you can put a little dog out here for you too, and you'll have a dog. Fences, lights, this is just kind of decoration if you have some extra money to build stuff around your farm. And then sculpting. This is a lot of work here, but you can level out, you can soften, you can do whatever you'd like to do, but it does cost money for each little bit that it moves your the different landscape. Now painting, this is if you wanted to put some asphalt. I'll go ahead and make my brush size a little bit bigger so you can kind of see. But yeah, you can change things to different asphalts, or if you wanted, to put some more grass somewhere, you just kind of let you customize your farm however you'd like. Another helpful tip, there's been a few videos out there that help you, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in this one. An easy way to make money early on. When you start buying equipment and buying fertilizer, buying feed, you end up running out of money very quickly in this game. But there are ways to easily make a little bit of money back. One of them, the top one, I would say, for me is greenhouses have really helped me out in this game. And what you can do here's a greenhouse over here. But what you can do to buy it, or how you buy it, is you push P and you go back to your construction tab down here at the settings, and you click on construction. The second tab down here, you go over from factories over to greenhouses. You can get greenhouses for the rice sapling, normal ones for vegetables, and also you can get mushroom greenhouses. I think I just have a vegetable one down here. You can just select it, place it where you'd like. Now what's great, and this is the reason why it makes easy money, is all it requires for an input is water. You can open this up, push R, and just real quick, all you have to do is left click to open. But you go to the settings area, you push R, and you can select which crop right here, and you can put that selling, storing, and I'll kind of explain that. But you want to activate it by pushing enter. Right now I have nothing. Nothing's activated. I want to do lettuce. It is one of the better ones to sell early on. I'm going to push enter, and you want to change the output by pushing space. Now storing, what storing does is it places the pallets outside after there's been enough that's been grown, and you can put the pallets on a truck and take it to a place to sell it, or you can just have it sell it automatically. It's kind of a set it and forget it. You just put your water in there. Every time there's some lettuce for it to sell, it sells it, but it's going to take a cut, and it's not going to sell it at the highest price. But it is something, if you just want your greenhouses to have reoccurring money coming in, then you can have it that way. Distributing, that's a tougher one going into production. If you had a facility you owned, or a production facility that used some of these items to create something else, then it would send it directly to that production facility, and that would work. But for easy money, I say put it on selling. You can get, the more money you have, you can put a lot more greenhouses, and all you have to do is give it water. And it's 100% free, and I'll show you on the next tip why. When I mentioned the rice fields earlier, and you can flood it for your water, if you get a tractor with a tank that can hold water, you can actually just drive it out here. And if you look in the top left, it changes to refill mobile water tank, and you push R. And that you see on the bottom right, it's filling up with water right now, completely free, not charging me anything. Now that area at the top, it's going to stay there. If you want to turn it off, you push F1, but you can leave it on if you want to see what buttons do what with the vehicle that you're in. So now I have full water, and actually let me go shut this so I can drive in here a little easier. Left click to shut it. And now I can go right around here, and you'll notice at the very bottom it has I for dump water, and so I just start loading the water into this greenhouse, and you can just keep making loops here and picking up water from your rice field and putting it back in the greenhouse. And now the greenhouse has all it needs to produce, and you'll see it's actively producing lettuce right now because it's got 6,000 liters of water. It's already produced 5 lettuce, as you see it going up. Once it gets to 1,000, it'll put it out here on a pallet. I forgot exactly how much they do, but that way you can go sell it when you want. But it's really terrific, and an easy way to make money. Now the second way to make money is to go back to that construction tab, and this is your opening farm. Now if you had a farm, this is a great, cool building, but all it is, I mean, it's just storing your um, tractors and some other things you want to put in it. You don't have to have it. If you want it, you can sell it, and that's $47,000 right off the bat. Boom. Now I just have an open area, and you wouldn't necessarily want to sell your farmhouse because you want to sleep there, but you might not need the shed. That's not going to let me sell it. Here is something, a barn, it's going to let me sell. So there's things on your property you can sell if you're opening farm if you don't need it, and get some money back, if that's something what you want to start off with. It is very, this silo though, that's where you want to drop your grain or anything. I would leave that. But for everything else, it's just kind of storing your equipment, which you really don't need. So if you want to sell that and make some quick money, you can. Okay, next I'm going to go over contracts. It's in your main menu. Remember, if you push escape, it's the fourth one down here. You'll see new, active. I don't have any active. This is a very easy way to make some money in the meantime if you have something else going on at your farm, or if you're ready to sleep so you can go to the next month. Go ahead and do a contract before that gets done. I would recommend fertilizing and baling. They're very easy to do and fast. Harvesting and hoeing and spraying, like some of this other stuff, can take a while. Those are the ones I do recommend because it's very easy to do. What I will say is you can have workers do this for you as well. Here's one that's actually near where you get your equipment at the store. So I'm going to go ahead and borrow the items because I don't have a tractor and a way to fertilize right now on my farm. So instead of me having to buy that equipment, you can actually borrow it or lease it for $400. So you take $400 off of this reward that you get. So it's not the most lucrative on this one, but this is just an example. So I would go ahead and borrow these items, and I'd push tab and go over to the tractor they just gave me. Let's see, here we go, little bitty dude. Now this is going to be for fertilizing, but I don't have any fertilizer. Now typically I would probably already have some because I got my farm going, but since I don't, I'm going to have to purchase some. So I'm going to push P and go under consumables here and just get a deal of fertilizer real quick. And now fertilizer is available for me to use on this. I'm going to swing by it and then push the R button to refill. Now, let me double check where this was at. It's going to be 83, which is just right by me. Okay. So what you can do though, and this is, you can do this on your own, and it won't cost you anything, and it's just going to take your time to do it. But what I like to do is, especially when I'm low on money, is to have it. I think you can have 3 AI workers doing 3 contracts that are through AI workers, and at a time. So you can be doing anything else on your farm while they're finishing up a contract to make money. So you just go over here and you push your H button to have your AI guy do his thing. And I forgot which one I set it up for, but looks like he's going to do the inner area first. But he's got this rolling, and on top right you can see how the contract's getting filled up. It's already 2%, 3% done, and I'm not doing anything. I can be at my farm doing something, and that contract's getting finished. And whenever it's complete, I'm just going to collect the money, and I'm not even doing anything. So it's a great way to make money, and using AI to do it. Now it's 10% done without me doing anything. So that's how you do contracts. Okay, the next thing that helped me out was a way to move around this huge map easily, how to travel and use AI to actually move things from one area to the next. But if you go to your main map, I think I've already showed you on the crops, but you can select them and then you can visit it. So you can visit any production facility, anything you want to go to. You can just select it, and your body will fly over to it, right in the middle of the fields. But what's great is you can also have your AI go from one place to the next, so you don't have to move any kind of tractors. And I've had a difficult time getting it to work on like harvesters and everything, but let me give you an example. If I buy a tractor, I'm going to go ahead and buy one, and and I'm gonna push tab to go to it. We're at the store. I don't necessarily want to drive all the way to my farm, but I can push H to activate the worker. Since he doesn't, it's not like a fertilizer or harvester. It immediately goes to create job, and it says go to. So I got this tractor here that I want, and I'm going to select target position under here. You'll see the little highlight. You select target position, and then I'm going to say go to, middle of this field or at my farm, and you click it, and then you also have to click the direction you want him to face when he gets there, and then you push Z for start job on the bottom left here. You push Z, and now he's going to go to. So if he was hauling a trailer or hauling whatever, you can have AI actually drive your vehicles back to the house or to deliver some goods or whatever it happens to be. That's an easy way to navigate, and also have AI go to different destinations for you. Another really cool thing about this game is it's not just about harvesting crops. Obviously, I already showed you the greenhouse that you can do, so you can that's another neat thing. If you want to just have a whole bunch of vegetables you grow and go sell them at the market, you could do that without even harvesting a single crop. You can obviously do all of your different, pig farms or cows, and all of these different animals produce, milk, or they have wool for the sheep, or you can sell off the actual cows themselves because they reproduce. There's a lot of other things you can do in this game besides just harvesting crops. And one thing I did want to show you is the production, which I did mention before. I own a greenhouse. That's one production chain. But you can actually go to the available, and there are all of these different plants throughout the map, and different maps have different ones. But what's really cool about them is you can harvest your oats, right? But then you can bring your oats to this production facility that can actually make it into something else, like flour. And then from there, flour can be made at another production company to create cakes. So there's chains of different things you can do with your crops, as well as some of your vegetables or some of your mushrooms that you get from your greenhouse, as well as everything you can get from your animals. So that's the real cool thing about this farm simulator, is it's not just about going up rows. That's a fun thing, which I enjoy quite a bit. But you can also go to these production facilities and do more and more. So if you go to your map and you go over here to the hotspots, it has productions, which are in these light blue, and you can manage or visit, but you cannot use it unless you buy it. So unfortunately, it would be nice if you could just go and create everything that you would like, create the canned peas or whatever you want to do, but unless you buy it, you will not be able to. So I'm going to go ahead and visit this place, but I can't do anything. This is a canning area, and it says, do you want to buy the canning factory? So I'm going to say yes. Here we go. So now I have access to it. So now when I do R, I have everything in here that can be used at this production facility. So if I did have long grain rice, I can, if you go down here to what it requires, it requires long grain rice, and you're going to get 30 rice rolls out of it, or a rice bag, or a rice box, and then you can sell that, or a lot of these things can go to another production facility off of that. So there's just so much in this game beyond just going with your crops and harvesting them. So if you decide, hey, I want to create clothes, well, then you buy a cotton farm, you harvest the cotton, you move that into fabric, and that fabric goes to another facility that ends up creating clothes. So you can really just determine, role play, whatever you really want to do with your farm, and that's what's really exciting. There's so much to do in this game. I wanted to mention kind of the GPS that's been added. I believe in the older versions of the games this was just off of mods, but now they've added it to the game. So we already know you can go anywhere and kind of push H, and your the AI worker's gonna do what it needs to do. But now if you hold down H, it'll take you to the setting here. You have AI worker, you can say what the width is, how many headlands you want, and a big deal is the start width, the second to last. You can say up, down, which means they'll kind of start in the middle, or they start at the headlands, what you want the AI worker to do. And you just push OK, and you go out here and push H, and they'll do it. But you can also have GPS assist for you doing it. So instead of AI worker, after you hold down H, you can go over here to steering assist, push OK. Sorry, let me go back to it real quick. The show lines on the bottom, I highly recommend you do on. You can have it off if you just want to make a video of not having it, or whatever you want to do with that. But now when I go out here, all of a sudden these lines start showing up, and it's kind of a guide, and your vehicle can stick to that guide. Let me go ahead and I'm going to unfold my harvester. I'm going to lower the header. So what you can do with that guide is once you unfold your stuff and you turn it on, you kind of can get close to going up here. You'll see those lines reappear. You push H like you would activate the AI, but this time it's steering assist only. So now it went from yellow to green. When I push H, it's locked on, and then you just push up on your keyboard, or if you're a controller, push up to just don't try to steer, but all you do is you do your, how fast you want to go, and it's going to lock in straight on it. Now what I do usually, because you can lock on any of these lines, as soon as you move it goes off, but this is kind of how it works, and once it's got that blue outline, you just push H again, it locks on, and I usually push 3 for cruise control, and then I just let go of it, and it's going to stay right on that line, and you're never going to miss any crops again or be a little bit offline. So it just works out great. It's going to continue to go. You'll run right into a fence. You got to stop it yourself. It's not autopilot all the way. It just kind of sticks to that one straight line. So again, as soon as you turn and it's doing it, push H, push 3 for kind of your toggle, and you're on your way. So a very easy way if you want to do it yourself or if you want to just do a little bit at first to make it easier on your AI, this is an easy way to do it. And okay, I've had my fun now. I want the AI work to do it. I'll switch back over to AI after holding down H. And now when I push H, AI is going to be doing it. And they'll probably take over right where I left off. Looks like it. Now I'm not touching anything. AI is doing it itself. I can go off and do something else. So that's how to use the new GPS. The final thing I wanted to show you were mods. I'm not a big modder myself, but the vanilla game is really terrific all by itself. But there are some quality of life mods that can really help you out if you're starting. You get some frustrated with some pieces. So I'll show you a couple I like. All you do is on the main menu, go down to downloadable content. It's going to have a list. You can obviously get any kind of tractor and trailer that you want added on. But under gameplay, there's a couple I wanted to show you. One is super strength. And what you do is you kind of you select on which one you want. You'll install it down here. But super strength, and I'll show you what that does in a moment, as well as the greenhouse automatic watering. Those are 2 that really help me out kind of with the starting farm, getting things rolling. And I'll kind of go through both those real quick for you. Okay, so at first, let me go ahead and show you the super strength one. That's a very beneficial one that I've really liked and it's helped me out. Now, if you're welcome to do a forklift. I'm not going to pull one down, but forklift to pick up some things and move them around. It's just a little clunky, difficult to load and unload. But the super strength, and you'll see on the top left here, it says toggle super strength. I'll just Alt S, and now I got a little hand that I can pick up pretty much anything. Obviously, it's pretty easy to pick up pallets by themselves, but and I like to click on the bottom of it and move it around. You can move it wherever you like. It makes it just so much easier if you have something you want to load in a truck. don't pick it up by the top because you're not going to get it very high. Highly recommend you grab it at the bottom and easily place it in there. Now, it says super strength for a reason because I could do that. You can, so yeah, it's not realistic, but I use it mainly for putting pallets into trucks, or loading or unloading anything. Now, one thing it can help out with, let me try to get to my... Now, this happens from time to time. I'm not paying attention, I'm looking somewhere else, and I end up driving into a river. So with this super strength, you know, it does help you out instead of having to reset everything. You know, you can come move your stuff out of harm's way. I've had to do this more times than I want to admit. But it makes it real easy to, you know, get out of a jam and go and reset if you need to. So that's super strength. Now, I did mention the watering of greenhouses, nice and easy if you have this. Well, you can skip that step altogether, but this does cost you still. You can, if with the green automatic watering, you don't never have to think about going and refilling, because right now the water is very low on this, right? But because I have that automatic watering enabled, if you look at the bottom, it says enable watering. So I'm going to push C there, and now water is enabled. There's just 1,100 liters, but every hour, let me go ahead and push 8 to skip ahead. 8 and 7 on your keyboard. You'll see the time going by on the top right here, and every hour, okay, so now an hour has passed. If I look back on here, water has been added. And so it'll always add just enough water to do what you need for your vegetables or whatever you happen to have in your greenhouse. It's just, but it does charge you for that water that it's pulling. So it's not a lot, obviously, but that's something if you don't want to have to think about it. That mod is just a convenience mod, so that I know my greenhouses are always water, which means they're always going, and they're an easy way to make money. So if you have a lot of greenhouses and you have this automatic water on, every month you're going to be making some money or producing a lot of vegetables that you can move to whatever you'd like.